Imagine for a moment that every interaction you have is a transaction, not with money necessarily, but with a different kind of currency: need, interest, and benefit. It's a cold way to see the world, isn't it? But peel back the layers of sentimentality, and you might just find this invisible contract underpinning most of our relationships. To understand where we are, let's take a quick trip back in time. Picture our ancestors huddled together around a fire as the night closed in. Their world was a dangerous place filled with predators and uncertainty. In that world, relationships weren't a choice, they were a survival kit. You needed the group to hunt, to protect, and to continue your lineage. If you couldn't contribute, if you couldn't hunt, gather, or stand guard, you were a liability. And in that brutal economy, a liability was often left behind, forced to wander alone and face the perils of the wild. It was a simple, brutal equation. Your value was your usefulness. Now, fast forward tens of thousands of years. Have we really changed that much? Let's look at the most sacred relationship we know: the bond between parent and child. A mother and father sacrifice everything for their infant. They pour their resources into the best food, the safest home, the finest education. They do this out of a love so profound it feels like it transcends all logic. But watch closely as the child grows. That infant forms a bond, yes, but isn't it fundamentally a bond of need? The parent is the source of food, warmth, and safety, a living, breathing tool for survival. Then something happens. The child becomes an adult. They get a job, a partner, a life of their own. The need for a provider vanishes, and in a story as old as time, many fly the nest and, consumed by their new lives, slowly forget the hands that once fed them. The transaction is complete, the need is gone, and so often is the intense closeness. This isn't just a story about families, it's the story of our modern world. We've just dressed it up in nicer clothes. Think about it. Why do you go to school? To learn and grow, or to get the credential that unlocks a high-paying job? Why does a teacher stand at the front of the class? To ignite a passion for knowledge, or to collect a salary? You might smile and nod in class, but is it out of respect, or is it a silent negotiation for a good grade, a letter of recommendation? You get that high-paying job, but you're not working for the good of the company. You're working for the paycheck that funds your life, your hobbies, your few hours of freedom. Your employer keeps you on only as long as you're a better deal than the next person. This transactional nature even bleeds into our most intimate moments. One day a feeling stirs, a mix of loneliness and desire, and you seek out an affair. You are sick, so you go to the hospital. You pour your heart out describing your pain, but the doctor, after a blink and you'll miss it visit, hands you a bill that makes your eyes water. The message is clear: your pain is your problem, and my time has a price. So, where does this leave us? In a world where the primary bond is not agape, that selfless, unconditional love, but a constant, often unspoken exchange of needs and interests. Now, this might sound cynical, even bleak. It's a truth many don't want to hear. But accepting it isn't about becoming cold-hearted. It's about gaining a powerful kind of emotional intelligence. It's about seeing the game for what it is. When you understand this, heartbreak takes on a new light. When someone leaves you, the agonizing question why is replaced with a clearer, if still painful, understanding. I am no longer meeting their needs, or they can no longer meet mine. The shock is less about personal failure and more about a contract that has simply run its course. This clarity allows you to build more durable, honest relationships because you begin to see the actual terms of engagement. And yet, in acknowledging this pervasive truth, the rare and beautiful anomaly shines even brighter. Once in a while, if you are extraordinarily lucky, you might stumble upon a connection that defies this entire economy. A relationship that isn't based on what you can do for someone or how they look, but simply on who they are. A bond that persists even when the benefits dry up, when the beauty fades, when the needs are gone. It is in that rare, fragile space that true love, agape, whispers its name. And knowing how the world usually works makes that whisper worth listening for all the more.